It's map 2, it's Mirage, and 9Z are one map away from making it to Dallas. And Paladin, last time these two teams played each other on Mirage, guess what? 00Nation won 16-0. I'm getting the impression that's not going to happen today.
I would be even more surprised this time around if they can make it happen off the T side, no less. So let's see if they can try to replicate it. It starts here. I mean, they desperately need something like that to go their way as of right now, because down a map, trying to stay in IEM Dallas contention means a whole lot to these guys after missing out on the major in Paris.
Exactly. Utility being used. Flashes coming out. Dumal first possible apartments, but David is still here with the dualies. He spams away with two. Those dualies all seem to get a multi-kill from that sort of position, don't they? Try then swings wide toward ramp, looking for Lato, and taps him beautifully. And Dumal is left a day late and $1 short.
Really tried to sell something with that B attack, but I think a couple footsteps had been heard by David underneath the balcony, and that must have been relayed over. He does very well to get two. Try does very well himself to get a multi-frag as well. And Dumao is left with just a flashbang, no armor. Time desperately going down, and Try ends it with the triple kill. Locks in their first round, and the winning ways continue for the South Americans.
Solid as a rock. David, the pride of Chilean Counter-Strike. Two with the dualies underneath the balcony. And Try coming in and dealing with the last very comfortably. Giving himself a solid 3k in total. Force buy actually for 00Nation, and without a bomb plant 2 they go for this force buy. Jamal Galil, and guess what? That Galil's been nated down already to 59 points of health. Awkward and frustrating for him with the only rifle. Pistol's going to be rushing their way out ramp, but DGT is standing tall right now. And Try will swing. David though is playing with his food with the MP9, even plays with the ladder to grab that one and chew up Lato. Will go down, but NQZ will get the bomb planted, which is a good success. The Tech9 is doing some good tapping right now. He's playing with the angle, and DGT actually almost went down to that. It's a nice try from NQZ. And good damage in the end with the bomb plant too, so they won't be unhappy with that. But it will be a 2-0 start for 9Z.
You'll have to see it. I mean, some good ideas there from 00Nation trying to overwhelm that shadow player, but David does well to get another 2 kills. So it makes the job for those rotating players to be that much easier. 9Z handle it, albeit some actual losses in terms of manpower, but no harm, no foul. They upgrade everybody, actually, and fully invest. Just with the notion that 00Nation could potentially invest themselves with that bomb plant, but they decide to be a little bit more lax in that sense. They just go with the upgraded pistols and armor. Actually, yeah, a little bit of armor, and try to send it into the B site. See what they can find.
Yeah, some of the sort of buys that can very easily get out of control for 9Z. And Buddha's going to actually make some noise jumping up onto the edge of the balcony. Flashes coming in, they're going to flash their way through it, and that does push him away. There is help though from short, and that does so much damage. Try will get tagged down, but Buddha sorts out two. EGT gets another, and then Lato is left kind of disconnected from the action. Looking for at least a 1 dig, and he will get a 2 dig. Only 1 kill, but on the second bullet. Bomb though is impossible to pick up with the positioning of DGT. David is rotating as well. DGT gets the frag in the end. Still get to die in this game for him. And the 3-0 start is perfectly clean so far.
And NQZ gets his AWP out in round number 4 straight away. We definitely want to see a little bit more impact from him this time around. He felt like a bit of a non-factor on overpass, and Try definitely had his number there. But we know what NQZ is capable of. We've seen the damage that he's done on both of these teams in previous iterations. So certainly would like to see him activated tonight. And it's going to be a fast A execute straight away.
Outstanding fragging. Gets himself 2 from the edge of default. On Tempest in the mid jump up, and Nato will remove him, but Max is there once again to keep the advantage for 9Z. That's going to be a nice Molotov from Cold, and he hears Buddha retreating in toward jungle. That's a tasty headshot straight through the smoke. Now NQZ and Cold have a chance to hold this 2-man retake at bay. Smoking a kit on DGT, but neither of these two players are particularly healthy. And with the kit player being only 44 points of health, it would only be 2 bullets from an AK to take him down. NQZ then swings from triple. He takes Max beautifully, and I think they know that CT isn't an issue anymore thanks to that. DGT will fall back away, and he'll be saving that M4. Good fight from 00Nation. Important frag from Cold. And it's the first round on the board on Mirage.
It felt as though after David gets those 2 kills again, that the round should be secure, but a bit of a car crash there in connector where I think players were trying to boost above that smoke, and with that boost being missed, it triggered the 00Nation player to throw that Molotov, and I believe that was coldzera, and it made it very uncomfortable for 9Z to withstand anything at that point. They take a huge amount of damage trying to get out of that Molotov. And NQZ does very well to retain the site with that AWP. 1 frag seals the deal. And just 1 round, and there was a lot of damage done in the rounds previous from 00Nation. 9Z now have to bend the knee. DGT will retain that A4, but that's about it this time around.
You'll be boosted up behind the bricks on short. And that's a headshot angle that can be hard to find immediately, so there's a chance that you can do something with that. And of course, it's just the USP of Buddha to boost him up. You don't need anything of worth to be the booster. The boostee needs the gun, and he's got exactly that. Very attractive howl. And my howl item came today, Paladin, that I spoke to you about the other day. It's a pin.
I'm excited. Oh, nice.
It's not the official pin that Valve made, of course, but it's basically a perfect remake that only cost me about 15 quid compared to what it would be for the Valve one, which is like, I don't know, 1,000 maybe? So, you know, worth.
You're completing the collection. You've got it all.
David rotating round. I'm going to have a glance at Connector in a second, but he's not going to go for a peek just yet. Holding the close line. Buddha's rotated all the way around toward the triple side of A, and Buddha now will spot the information of Demal. Look at Max. 2 players coming up cat. This could be an issue now. There's going to be frags coming in elsewhere, and that distracts Cold. So Max does get that USP tap. 3 versus 3. And DGT still has his M4 in play, but that's a good catch from Lato. DGT now is rotating into the equation, but unfortunately for him, the bomb's being planted elsewhere. We'll get that frag. It makes it a 2 versus 2, and Max actually has this AK up pretty close here, and pretty quick about it too, and he just spots next. Oh, if he could have hit that tap, that could have made this round so possible. DGT still has that smoke and still has that kit. They're going to charge in and go for this one. Why not? They're buying next round anyway. NQZ looking to post up, and now he knows that that first player is behind the pillar on short. Now time is proving to be too much of an issue. NQZ will miss that shot as DGT falls away, so he's a bit lucky to be able to save this AK. But 2 AKs will be saved into the next round, and 00Nation will close the gap to 1.
Real opportunity there for 9Z to capitalize on that, with NQZ taking the risk to aggress down into market, but it doesn't work out. As you said, that tap being missed, it felt like there wasn't really any room being given from Nex beyond that. So good attempt from 9Z. They get to retain 2 AKs. So it's good for their money at the very least to get as much utility out into round number 6. But definitely an opportunity missed there. Ooh. Weird amount of smokes being placed here from 00Nation. You don't see this combination all too often. I think it was trying to prioritize next to get an opening pick over the top of that smoke, but nothing is being given at the top of connector. And so they essentially have to burn 2 smokes at that point for no reward.
Absolutely. 00Nation trying to play the little gap in the box there, top mid, to look for any players aggressing from connector. Molotov from Damao will show where he is in underpass. Max playing on the top of that smoke. It's always so tempting as a connector player to go for those peaks above the connector smoke and look for something, but Max will manage to jump away to safety as the swing comes through, but it gives 00Nation control towards short. He's been tagged straight through the edge of bench, but he doesn't need to worry about apartments because Buddha is doing a great job of keeping his teammate away from the danger. But Lato is just taking a straight up duel toward Palace, and that's why, because it's a fake and they're going toward A. 4v4, 9Z are locked out.
Really cool call there from coldzera. I mean, they're trying to look at what options that they had, and they try to circumnavigate the B side. And as soon as Buddha gets that kill, and they get that info from Cat, they immediately pounce onto the A side. But this round is not over. A lot of kills going into the favor of 9Z regardless. And coldzera and NQZ have got to do it all. 2 kills for them, mauling onto the bomb. And time continues to expire. DGT's got to make a move.
UT will get at least one tap, but NQZ now has to dance around. AWP versus AWP, and NQZ hits the no-scope up close. Gorgeously done. And that was a fun little 1v1 there as they danced around default with the 2 AWPers, of course, on the server. And it's a bit of a grudge match, of course, as well. I'm sure they're, I'm sure there's no hard feelings, but, the change, of course, NQZ from 9Z to 00Nation, try from 00Nation back to 9Z again. And that's the sort of battle we love to see.
You don't get to see too many head-to-head AWP aim duels nowadays, just with the way the AWP is being played. But when we get into tight scenarios like that, it's always exciting. Now, 9Z honestly dropping the ball in that 4v2, giving a lot of respect to coldzera and NQZ, and they seize that opportunity with both hands. Gives them a key opportunity here to gather a lead on the T side. Already market improvements in terms of the chemistry and cohesion from the 00Nation boys. Again, this mid control has been going very well for them. They've been very good at keeping 9Z guessing as to where they'll end up. And this time it's again going to be A. At least control-wise, they've got the connector. And they've gotten ladder as well.
Yeah, they forced Buddha out into the open. Nice headshot from Nex. He's played pretty well today, which is good to see from him. And now David is kind of stuck, really. 3 players in con, looking to put pressure, and Lato coming up ramp in a moment or two. Try with the Deagle on the B site. Playing the bench and playing with his enemy. David will swap the first player going towards jungle. I don't think they're necessarily aware of where he was yet, because he was open to that frag coming in. But it's only the pistols, and Damao is cleaning them up like it's nothing. 3 kills for him, 2 for next. Round done. A lead for 00Nation on T side early on.
And for 9Z, they've got to figure out how to solve this mid conundrum. They're definitely being pulled apart in terms of rotations, and it's serious cause for concern. Cold is doing very well to manipulate that. And we'll have a little bit of a tech pause here, but it should be short. We should be out of it quickly here. And what is the solution here for 9Z? They won't have an AWP to at least contend this time around, but they should have at least a little bit of adaptations to suggest maybe fight for mid here, or take early underpass control, have that boost up into that mid, boost up on underpass to fight into mid.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of possibilities here, but I'd like to see a little bit of a variation from the CTs.
Hopefully this technical pause won't be too long. We can hear the ticks in chat, so we can hear the discussions going back and forth. NQZ has his AWP, so it's going to be probably nice for him. Try AWPless, and it's a battle that we've seen obviously yesterday as well. We didn't really see a proper one-on-one AWP duel that we saw on that previous round on A, in that 1 versus 1. Just sort of saw occasional picks every now and then. That sort of battle is always fun to see.
Okay, again,
Flashes.
9Z do not want to fight for mid control. And very well done with those flashes to at least get all that control. And I think a lot spotted. They're just into B. They've completely sped things up. Dumal gets an outstanding 2 frags. coldzera chiming in as well into the 3v2.
Try though. He's still creeping around, and that could be a way to get back into this one. You get 1 kill, so they know he's around about this position, but he's playing with that smoke smartly. And NQZ spots him, misses the shot. That will surely activate Cold to come in and help out at some point, and in the end it's Lato. Great frag. That's the biggest threat removed. David will manage to switch to the AK, but it's a 1v3. He's got no kit. He might be close to the equation. So he's going to give this a go because of that. Lato's been boosted up, though, on the top of the box, which makes it a bit harder to figure it out, and that's an angle you're never going to check in a month of Sundays. Lato finishes that one off too. 2 headshots for him. 00Nation 5-3. 9Z with probably a pistol armor buy coming in, and that's all. They're starting to streak a bit clear.
That's a really sick round to call from 00Nation. They do the same standard mid control, but it's all a fake. They're not actually going to sit on it. They instead decide to speed things up on the B side of things, and Dumal just goes jumping out of window. And of course, it makes things a lot easier when he gets 2 entries like that, but it completely ruffled the feathers of the defense, and they couldn't have any answers at that point. Dumal looking for a little bit more again on the B side of the map, but he's done his damage now already.
I managed to get the MP9 boosted up on the balcony at least. Could do something with that. But yeah, there's 00Nation have a chance to pull clear. We saw the kind of same pattern for 9Z. But this round, and I should say this game, sorry, and all the others we've seen between these two have been relatively close, other than the last time, of course, they played on this map when it was a 16-0 for 00Nation, and that qualifier for the RMR. Of course, that was when they had Taco, which obviously feels like a bit of a lifetime ago now, to be honest, even though it's not that long. Firework display of flashes. Bang, bang, bang. But they'll fall back off of mid.
And it looks like they might be making the right read here, navigating themselves back to the A site. Next left as a lurk in middle to cut off rotations. And it'll only really be Max to take the brunt of this initial damage. He initially smokes himself off at the 30-second mark, mind you. So there is a potential for 00Nation to have to go through gray screen. Max is going to push through this smoke. And he's caught coldzera face to face.
Oh.
And he manages to drop the bomb as well. Grabs that AWP. Max in a terrific spot, but Dumal just rips his head clean off.
Yeah.
Bomb plan in for coldzera at the tail end of this round. And 00Nation dodge a bullet and a half there.
That was probably the best Max could have done in that scenario. Basically the perfect play, and that's a good reaction from Cold to get the last frag too. There's a world in which Max gets a lot more done there. Molotov was thrown by Cold once he realised that close wrap could be a problem with that smoke coming in. It was smart to go into that smoke and play smoke fade and then phase it himself on the other side of it. Dropping the bomb first, getting the AWP as well of all the weapons he could possibly get. But Dumal just deleted him. Neglected the bomb straight away. If he managed to drop the bomb one more time, just getting one more kill with the AWP, the round could have gone a different way.
Finally, a little bit of a mid-fight here from Tribe, but he gets immediately smoked off. And this time it's Lato's turn to get an entry into the round. On the A side of the map, David goes down, a huge heavy hitter for 9Z that hasn't been able to get that same kind of impact that we were expecting from him. And now Dumal decides to walk underneath the scope of Tri, gets another for his troubles. And this 4v3, it's looking very dicey for 9Z to try to drag things back, and Max is going to get aggressive here.
He has to. He has to in a disadvantageous situation. Head of that connector smoke, so they might not glance at it at the last second. You can hear the running up short. One in the back, two in the back for Max. And that's the bomb dropped on Cat as well. That's a big double to take. Buddha now in a good position to try and find next as well. Needs his frag, but misses the first few bullets. Thankfully adjusts. And Nato, who's trying his best on the other side of the map, really, top mid, trying to win these long-range fights, but DGT will get the final frag and sort it out. So that's a great recovery.
Finally, something gives way for 9Z. Max taking matters into his own hands and getting those 2 freebies. Granted, it is tough to slip that timing there, but he definitely could see that there was the only real way for them to get back into that round was through that play. Mind you, if he misses the timing or misses the frags, they have a free route into a B split, and then it gets really dicey for 9Z, but it works out in the end. They confirm their 4th. They've got to find a way to get back-to-back rounds here because the money is definitely not looking the prettiest here.
It is not. That's frustrating for David. Molotov spreads in the last stages of its life, and of course, the later the Molotov stays up, the more damage it does. 3 ticks total. He's down to 45. Always annoying. Buddha, though, was playing with the idea of leaving B and leaving DGT to his own devices. I don't think he knew that Dumao had pushed up in front of his smoke earlier on, and now he certainly does. There's a jump spot, and there's information. Dumao will come charging in after he gets the knowledge that Buddha is there, but he didn't know that DGT was. Molotov and toward Van to make that something less to worry about, but try in connector, deals with that late flank top mid from Cold. And next in NQZ are left not really knowing what to do, and I would probably presume a save would be the best call.
Yeah, I think that probably is the name of the game here. Crossfire was just a little too strong to break from 00Nation, and 9Z holds strong. At this point, finally, something being strung together by 9Z. It gives them a little bit more room to breathe, especially keeping 5 men alive. Like, now, at this point, you have a couple more opportunities to try and solidify this defense. Good stuff from Max and good stuff from DGT as well.
Yeah, very important. Round will expire and the saves will come through, and that will mean that 9Z now just 1 back on the CT side. Nudging ever closer to that spot in Dallas, of course. So qualified for IEM Rio, which is coming up, of course, very soon after the RMR LCQ is all said and done. If they can find a way to Dallas as well, that would be big for their year after missing out on the major. Justifies the fact they would stick with this roster, that's for sure. Cold charging up Cat in the following round. DGT wary of that possibility and tries missed timing on that one, so that could be an issue late round. Cold's in ladder room, but he's taken a tag to that Molotov, so it should be known. And try rotating round to deal with Dumao as a nice frag, and look how far Max is pushing up. Unfortunately, Nex is holding for that possibility. He's trying to get behind the play, and Nex spots it out, and the fight gets spooked away.
Are they aware of coldzera, and did they actually hear the tag? That flash is definitely suggesting, even though it missed, I think the idea is there. They're DGT and Max are going to crunch onto Cold. He's completely unaware that his position was noted. Very well done to him, but the real hit is coming to the A side, and NQZ is ahead of it. He gets 1 kill in, and David makes a lot of noise on the wood wall, and NQZ is quick to react. 3v3 and smokes in, so there should be a plant unless Max and Nex say otherwise.
He might have a chance. That nade could be pretty decent toward Nex. Oh, it does more damage to NQZ in the end, actually. A flash towards CT to get Lato in the action, and he takes the frag, but look at the damage. DGT and Buddha are still very much in this one. 2 versus 3, not a single player on 00Nation above 50 health. I'm not sure if 9Z know that. They know they've done at least damage on 1 player, but whether they know all 3 are low, it's not a matter, and it's a double setup on the bin in CT. That is impenetrable, whatever your health is, and DGT will have to fall away. Great round from 00Nation. That was a grind, and that was all NQZ in the end. That kill toward David was so important as well. David had to make a decision whether he pounced or not. He decided to pounce, and pounce quickly rather than a slow shift, and the 1 step he made alerted NQZ quickly. And that was a catalyst to get to 00Nation their 7th round.
Yeah, very well done from NQZ there. He really just takes the round by storm there, entering with the AWP no less. You don't see that too often these days, but the Brazilian makes it look easy. notching a 7th on the tally here on their offensive half. Looking very, very sharp now. And that's that kind of impact that we were looking for from him for a little while now. And now that we're getting that on the offensive half, who knows what he can do when he gets into that favored CT side. So definitely exciting to see him get activated yet again, this time onto his counterpart of Try. Finally another aim duel between his counterpart and Try working out in his favor now.
Yeah, that's. I was about to say the same thing. The fact that the two uppers when they got up against each other there. Not on a 1v1 that we saw earlier on the A site, but an opening frag and an opening pick, which can so often be the case for the two uppers. Cold lining up his utility. Smoke. Well, at least show that he's in that position. I think 9Z will be aware that's where that smoke was coming from. Max trying to play a tight angle on the balcony, but next, running and gunning, perfectly destroys him on the angle, and Cold hopping away from mid will get dinked, but staying alive is the biggest factor, and that could prove to be a problem, him just staying alive. Buddha will see the legs of Dumal though as he creeps through connector, so that's a good find. But 3v4, I'm afraid we could be consigned to another save here. They've got full utility on basically all three players, and they have kits, but that's so important to take into the next round, and they're so far away, it just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, I thought that overextension from Dumal would goad 9Z into potentially going for that retake, but I think a bigger frag that they missed that could have forced them into that even more was the kill on the Colt. I mean, him living on 15 HP there, they have absolutely no idea where he's gone. They don't know if he's still in mid. They don't know if he's behind them in underpass. Too much time has elapsed at that point for them to keep track of him that they realize that maybe it's just not worth to go at all, even if we have a potential 3v3 on the site. So it's not the best decision to make in terms of confidence, but for the long run, it is definitely the right move. It allows for Try and Max to be dropped over and for them to have a couple more buys here. They're desperately going to be needing these last two to stay competitive here because 00Nation are slowly starting to run away with this one.
Yeah, tactical timeout. First one of the game for 9Z. Good time to use it with a couple of rounds left to go in the half. It's important that they take both. It was 8-7 for 9Z on overpass. And just about nabbed the second half, 8-6 to win it 16-13. So it's been tight the whole way so far. No one's really been streaking clear at any point. Could have one of the biggest gaps actually in the entire series so far if 00Nation are able to grab a 10-5 or the like.
Early duel for NQZ doesn't work out this time around. But 00Nation actually not opting for that much mid control anymore after how great they were able to condition 9Z in rounds previous. They've kind of ditched the idea. And as the round progresses, it allows for 9Z a lot of space. I mean, now GGG has free reign to check from Cat as much as he pleases. The Max is also aggressive in top of connector. And so there's a lot of room for the South Americans to play with this. They're going to try to take mid late, though. And now here comes a re-aggression from 9Z to counteract this.
Yeah, one in con, one in short. And it can be a nice pinch to have, but not when there are still two top mid. DGT will choose to fall away instead, which is probably the correct decision, considering the setup for 00Nation. Good nade on net, knocks him down to solid half health. 35 seconds to go. They now need to make a call. And it looks like they are going to be setting up toward B. It will be the play, and DGT is going to have to be the main man to defend against it. Buddha is there to support. Bomb is here. Going to be a split on Cat as well. Try. We'll manage to take the first towards Mal. This is a bit of a ruse, actually. Just a few going through con to maybe fake an A split, but it's a B split instead. And Buddha now just needs to stay alive and play for his team. Swings, takes one. Good job. And this job is almost done in this round as well. Cold will deal with Buddha, but Bomb can only just go down on time, and they're just going to try and deal with it anyway. But hang on, NQZ could just hold off the play here. He's saving his teammate,
Ooh.
and he's saving Cold. Bomb will go down thanks to NQZ as the door play came through, but now he's only got 2 bullets left, so he needs to hit one of these, and he will find Matt. It's all NQZ this round, and it might still have to be. He's got 1 bullet, and he needs to get 2 kills. That's what makes this so awkward. Nade on DGT, and he's got, of course, a kit as well, so he's just going to hold it, and NQZ can do nothing about it, and even a missed shot in the end will consign him to death. A nice try, and that was a lot closer than I thought it would be. NQZ nearly carrying his team to a round, but 9Z get a critical 6th.
A lot of different windows there that 00Nation nearly had the round in their hands. You know, they nearly sold the fake, but I think the stalling there from the 9Z B anchor worked out wonderfully. And as soon as that 1 kill comes in, the rotations are quick in. But NQZ tries to swing their round back into the 00Nation camp. And sadly, he was not able to get that 3rd kill on the player back site fast enough. It allows for the flank to activate, and 9Z do manage to get themselves a 6. They got really close there at the tail end, but
yeah,
all is fair.
I was sort of wording my play-by-play in the sense of that Cold was going to get taken down by the player coming through market door almost instantly, but NQZ was in the right place at the right time for nearly all 3 of those kills. In the end, David's flank was too strong. It was the insurance policy, I guess you could call it, for that round. Faster A play though, straight away to end off this half, and Try is in position for it. Has to strafe back away toward jungle though, and David is so very blind, so is Try. Tough situation to be in right now. 5 versus 4, executing pretty well, but a dink through the smoke, that's unfortunate for Dumao. He must be thinking, how on earth have I been dinked there, not died. CT, Lato goes in, and somehow still gets 2. Huge. But DGT has got a flank, and he's dealt with NQZ nicely. So Cold and Dumao in a 2 versus 3. It might have to be Cold here, because Dumao 12 HP from that dink through the smoke. He knows his flank is coming. Flash coming in, but it won't affect him whatsoever. It's underneath the stairs. So it's now David and Buddha to retake this one. Kit on Buddha, and David goes aggressive to find Cold. So it's Dumao. He should know where he is, and in the end, even though he does so much damage to David, it's a nice clean frag for 9Z, and they have enough time for the defuse nicely. It's an even half once again. It was 8-7 on Overpass, and it's 8-7 on Mirage as well. We'll go to a quick break, and when we're back, we'll figure out how Mirage will conclude. It's 3 a.m. in the United Kingdom, but right now there's a lot of fighting going on in the server that is worth watching and worth staying up for. 9Z managed to grind away and get themselves a 7th on the half at least, and keeps them in touch with 00Nation, and we could be in for a very fast B play to start off the second half.
And surprisingly, 00Nation are not willing to, or sorry, 9Z are not willing to use their smokes initially to put that out. They're just going to wait, and they're going to re-aggress. As soon as they do, they get one opening trade. And there goes Try to get a second. Try with 3. And it's just magical stuff from the AWP to at least get them a bomb plan and potentially the round here. But NQZ and Duma are quick to arrive.
Has on for the ace here. Try and clean up everyone, but in the end it's stolen away by DGT. But who gives a toss about that? The round is the most important factor. And that's a great one for Try. Confidence for the second half. Beautiful quad. And I bet 9Z, I mean, obviously there's some scouting between these two teams. They played against each other a lot, probably practice against each other a lot as well. The fast speed play coming through. They probably were a bit frustrated that 00Nation had brought up an incendiary to block that fast play. But in the end, they just said, screw your fire. Straight through it. And took advantage of the pace.
And 00Nation had the read there as well, right? I mean, there was a triple stack initially to counteract that. And even with the Molotov, even with the triple stack, it didn't work. And now it looks like mission target next is activated as they try to congregate to the B side. Here comes the execute, and Mex is under hot water and then some.
Yeah, Buddha will run down next comfortably, and this force buy is about to be removed. Site is completely taken. Important to not get caught off guard by these sort of buys early on, especially as it's such a close game. These can make a difference in the course of a series, in the course of a map.
Looks like they want to promote Max to go hunting alongside David with these Max 10s. Yeah, you'll clear that angle every day of the week. NQZ can't actually convert the deagle spam. And more money racked up for the in-game leader, Max now. And Duma will continue to fight as he might with just this deagle at this point. Try to save onto this armor, but with only 3 health points remaining, Try will take him down.
Worth going for the kill rather than just letting him die to the bomb. Get that extra cash. And 9Z will retake the lead, edging ever closer to the birth in Texas. IEM Dallas.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Get the cowboy hats on.
Mm-hmm.
Even I know that as a non-American.
Of course, if you know Texas, you know the cowboy hat.
I've watched,
it's not. I mean, surprisingly, there's not too many of them here. You've got to be in a certain part of town.
Yeah,
but,
I imagine so.
It's definitely synonymous with Texas.
Yes, event stacked, that's for sure. Looking forward to seeing how it pans out, of course. Kind of interestingly placed in the calendar too. Kind of post-major in a way, you could say. Pretty quick in that calendar. Teams, of course, involved. G2, FaZe, Heroic, Liquid, ENCE,
Cloud9,
Furia, Astralis, Complexity, Greyhound from the Oceania close qualifier, Nouns from North America, confirmed. There's still an invite to be confirmed as well from the ESL ranking. And that one South America close qualifier spot is going to one of these two. And as you say, Cloud9, the defending champions, making it through the EU close qualifier. I had a chance to cover a few of their games. It was certainly a lot of fun. Axile farming up Sync Esports, but they most certainly didn't do a bad job as the huge underdogs in that qualifier. Nice strength from the USPs in this round, at least something for 00Nation to write home about, but it's only Dumal and Max's Mac 10 will keep getting that cash built up. Even manages to grab the girl at the last stage of the round as well, so he doesn't need to buy up anything else. Handy. Every split second helps.
And look at that start, man. 8K in the bank of Max, 5K in the bank of DGT. That's just about the most ideal start that you can have on this T side. And honestly, would have liked to see maybe a little bit more of a pacier play, hold on to those Mac 10s, and try to take advantage of the fact that the CPUs we all don't have helmets at this point, but semi mid there, and Jumal catches him out early with a nice little flashbang combined with coldzera there. So the play gets stalled out, but Buddha's ahead of this utility, and he's gonna walk out A here.
And QZ will take advantage of that though. Buddha caught in kind of in transition, I guess you could say, in the midst of coming out ramp and being close to default. Nice win from David, but takes a dink from Dumao, and a nade almost takes him down. Has to hop around to avoid all that, and he will actually make himself a bit more useful by going in toward window. Actually,
this is big.
Weirdly, they're not seemingly aware of it to be so fast, and NQZ, he goes back to check it at exactly the right time. However, David still rips his head off. Lato, though, just well before that smoke properly blooms, spots him going back in toward murder hole. With a good recovery, but Try is lurking up as well. Hold no information on that one because of Lato's position, and he hits a huge headshot onto Lato as well. Next, now, 1 versus 2, thinking, how on earth has that just gone so south so quickly?
He had his knife out for a moment there, Try as well. He still manages to get the headshot. He's got a Molotov at the very least. This should flush out Try, but he takes so much damage here. 22 HP,
Wow.
completely unaware of DGT and connector. And why would you be checking connector at that point? You think that the site has been taken? Surely he's on the A site, but it doesn't happen. What a round from David, and what a round from Try.
He wants it. He wants the Dallas berth. You can feel it in your bones.
It's such a messy round to win. It's such a messy round to win, you know?
Oh,
I mean,
it is.
They're in that 3v5, I think, or 3v5 or 4v5, I'm not sure. But as soon as Buddha goes down, you think, you know, round's over, their A hit is gone, and they have this super late mid lurk, and both of them work out so well. I mean, it's nice to see so much proactivity in the system where they're very willing to allow for individuals to go for these heroic plays.
Yeah.
And clearly it's working.
It's weird, isn't it? Because David was the one who was making, you know, all these problems, and then after he got taken down, it kind of settled down for only about 3 seconds, and then we sort of switched to Try, who was also in the midst of a play, and he sort of came out of nowhere, and most certainly in 00Nation's side of things, they will also think that he came out of nowhere. Huge. That second frag toward jungle was absolutely critical.
And now the B hit is underway for 9Z. 4 stack here for 00Nation initially, but a little bit of utility being tossed in the middle has completely bamboozled 00Nation to abandon their post essentially and leave Nex on his lonesome, stuck in get right. Max is systematically cleared out ladder. He'll take first contact, and the information is known. Max still gets the conversion, and this should be a confirmed round unless Nex has an absolutely incredible round. But the IGL takes care of business, and it should be a 12th secured for 9Z. 4 rounds away from a spot at IEM Dallas.
Would have genuinely needed to be a life round from Nex to make that happen. I think I've got, what, maybe 7,000 hours, and I've had probably one really good play on the B site with the Deagle in all those hours. I was playing.
That's still, it's higher than I am. So.
Fair enough. I can tell you, I was jail. I can remember it like it was yesterday. I was jail, and they were coming up cat, and I had no control of that because one of my teammates just died, and I got the first, and I repositioned to bench, got an immediate second, took 2 bullets on the third, and the rotations came in. My teammate saved me, so it was. I've got the clip locked away somewhere, as you know. I like minutes of casting or gameplay.
You should teach Next how to do that then.
Yeah, well,
I mean, no, it's impossible, is it?
I'm telling you right now that he is most certainly 10 times better than me, maybe even more. I've gotten a lot worse in the last year or so. It's actually annoying. Maybe I need to clean my mouse pad or something, because I'm looking for every single excuse to
That's it.
Give me
isn't
the
it?
answer of why I've got so much worse.
You're waiting for the subtext. Is what I'm hearing
Exactly,
here.
maybe I am. CST will save me. I'll be back. But NQZ's not back. That's Try winning the duel with the AWP. Straight up fight. And again, we mentioned those two going head to head. Really fun to see. Try is owning at the moment. But Lato, that's a really big hold. Thankfully for 9Z's case, they do have Max as the second man over to get that quick frag. But next up with Boo in the meantime, and DGT's pulled out his knife. And why not, to be honest? Never in a million years would you expect Next to push that smoke. And just like that, the round falls apart. 00Nation get their first on CT.
I mean, they ripped away NQZ's AWP like 10 seconds into the round. You think there's no way that they'd lose mid control that easily, but Lado does a huge job to get 2 kills there, even things up, and I think Next has a very proactive play in the apartments. He gets that initial kill on the Buddha and then transfers it on with an even more aggressive of a play to go through his own smoke there. Very well done. They're going to try and rinse and repeat, take mid control yet again, but Dumao's made the cat jump. We'll have that early contact. And actually, 9Z will not pounce on it. They'll throw that initial utility, but they'll not actually have a hit behind it.
Delayed one,
Feigning
perhaps.
a little bit of presence, but look at this potential timing here. As the smoke fades, they're crossing the boxes.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I think Dumao's aware of it, which is good at least. It means he doesn't just peek and go down for free. Buda getting spammed down, all the Molotov pushing him back into the corner, and 00Nation blowing as way as possible, and they flash next in, and they have not blinded him up, but it's a good kill to take. It's pretty low, and the nade should have figured it out, but oh my goodness, okay. Look on the other side of the map as well. Tries doing so much work.
Ooh.
This time, NQZ gets one in response, though. Takes a leg shot, of course. That tends to be the way when you're on top of a ticket like that. And you really see the legs anyway. I think NQZ's actually aware of the possibility of David being pushed so far up near Murder Hole. But Max and DGT are going in together toward B. They need to deal with Lato, though.
Oh, that's going to make things much more difficult. They're not going to have the
Oh, no.
cleanest aim pool here. And they try to skirt on to the left side of the smoke, and luckily Max is able to trade. So into the 2v2, David's position is still so valuable here. NQZ
Wow.
cannot read that patience from David. And it's the legend himself, coldzera, in the 1v2. No utility, a kit on his back, but no positional advantage.
Yep.
And no real way to get himself stuck into this. Perhaps he just picks up that AWP and saves it for NQZ in the next round.
Yeah, that's the plan. Cold may as well have been on Anubis, to be honest, because he was miles away from that play, unfortunately. No chance to get involved. And 9Z will grind out another, and that's a critical one as well. That's a good point you made as well, with that smoke being put up by Lato. The way that 9Z tried to phase that left-hand side of it in case that position from Lato was being held. They reacted well for the first, but the trade was quick, and it could have easily have been a double for Lato. Different universe could easily have played that out, but in this one, it's a 9Z round.
And, you know, at that point, David's position is completely null and void. It doesn't have that same effect where he has to make the play. So that round quickly does collapse if Lado is able to get the double. But, of course, ifs and buts are simply in the past at this point.
Two
Another buy
FAMASs
here.
as well, which is a bit awkward for 00Nation, but as you say, the buy is available at least. Bomb being dropped over, and NQZ's got quite a deep angle on top of the van rather than on the balcony itself. The jump across will come through, and he misses the shot. Now he's going to be under a lot of pressure. As soon as that missed shot comes in, they're going to swarm like flies. NQZ has to fight his way out. He does at least go 1-for-1, but the short player is deleted immediately by Buda. Perfectly done. Molotov coming in from Cold, but they can easily hold off any smoke pushes if it comes through. And even a right-click re-smoke from Buda as well makes it hard for 00Nation to get back into this. And Molotov towards the door, they're completely locked out. And while Lato may win that one, 16 HP in that smoke duel, and Dumao is not even considering it, so they're going to fall away.
14 rounds for 9Z. Decisive play as soon as they hear that missed shot, I mean, credit to Max for just pulling the trigger and calling the hit in. Because you could just see how uncomfortable NQZ is. He's only guaranteed, or I mean, honestly, not even guaranteed. He's basically capped at getting 1 kill. A second would just be sensational and unrealistic at that point. And they trade so efficiently that they have to, 00Nation just have to hang their heads and save. Like, the utility was very good to stall it out as well. I mean, you have that re-smoke on market window, and then the molly on market door. There's really no way for 00Nation to even try to collapse the post-plant positions any which way. There's no time for them. And as soon as 9Z gets settled in, it's basically impossible. So 9Z take another tack here. They realize that this is the knockout blow trying to be coiled up here.
Is that a cheeky tack, Paladin? Is that a tack to say, hello, we won the round? Think about it.
Yeah, it could be. It definitely could be. But at the same time, right, I think it's also a very good call for 9Z in terms of their own mental. They realize that this is the round for Dallas, theoretically, right? So all eyes on round number 24 and potentially riling up 00Nation in the process as well.
Maybe. There's a lot of respect between the two, but of course, there's an interesting factor that Try and NQZ, the swap between the two orgs did come through, and playing against each other is always very interesting. Next up, big frag with that FAMAS, and actually Lato helps out. This is a really good choice to mid-fight for 00Nation. It might not work out for them because Try is just hitting every single flick. It's way too good, but the reaction from 00Nation is superb. Lato and Dumao still fight for it. It forces DGT to go in toward B and get the bomb planted. He realizes the situation. They've put in so much pressure in mid that he has a free path to do exactly that. Now this retake is absolutely critical. DGT taking it up an advanced position near the market, and Try will be in the apartments. 00Nation actually taking quite a while to organise themselves to go for this 3-man push through Cat on the retake. A boost for the low HP Lato as well to look for that early frag, but DGT is in position. He's full health. He wants to duel. He wants to fight. And he's doing a great job of it. Try's got a Molotov. That could be even better. They've got smokes and kits, so they need to get a smoke on that as quickly as possible. They're doing exactly that, but DGT's in position. There's knives in the smoke, and they pulled him off the bomb. No chance for Cold. Cold actually knifed Try back in the end, and it's a bit of a clown fiesta, but 9Z are the ones to win it out. 15-9, one away from Dallas.
2v3 there from 9Z to convert, and yeah, you're exactly right there, Trav. They took so long to actually get onto the site or even try getting near the site. That triple cattle, I think they were trying to scrounge up some bits and bobs of utility, but they never truly actually used them when they actually went onto the site. So that also was just null and void. So 00Nation perhaps doubting themselves at that point. And the final attack has been called by 9Z. They understand they're just in touching distance between them and a trip to Texas. And what an opportunity for this squad after missing the RMR and qualifying for Rio, having another S-tier tournament to contend for. It's such a valuable chance to right the ship of this organization that's shown so much promise. You know, they've always been at the forefront of South American Counter-Strike in the last few cycles.
Absolutely.
So it's awesome to see them there again. And David starting off the proceedings with a marvelous shot onto NQZ.
Yep, that's one of the big guns removed as well. 3 FAMASes and only 1 M4 for 00Nation to respond. 9Z, they'll realise this is a fantastic opportunity now. Can't waste this. They're going to walk back toward A, and they can have their full utility for even a double pump execute if they want to. Put in one and fake it, and then go again later. Cold has to go for an information play. Looking himself toward ramp. Obviously checking for feet on the edge of the balcony there. Flash comes in, and that flash could not be better. Could not be better, and it sets up Buddha for the entry. Dumao is now very, very stuck. He's picked up the AWP, but he's in an awful position for it. He's a huge multi-frag round, and it's not going to happen for him. David removes him, and David is eager to finish this job, but actually he walks into his teammate's Molotov. Maybe a bit too eager to get this one done, and Try takes him down inadvertently. try, will actually swing for another, and Lato takes him out. So now it's a bit worrying. Back into a 2v2 when they're a little bit too aggressive. And Buddha looks like he could go for the round of world play. Max is still in position as well. They have a smoke for the bomb. And it's only a tap to begin for now, as you say. No defuse kit in play. Max will reveal his position. He doesn't actually know if they're on it yet. And Lato peeks at the right time. But in comes Buddha. There's the long con play, and it's going to work out great. He needs to find Lato in the smoke, though. It's being held by Lato. Still being held, but the smoke has faded. And 9Z, the South American powerhouse, is going to Texas to play in IEM Dallas.
Congrats to 9Z for converting a very difficult final to predict, right? I mean, from the get-go, we already said that they did a very good job for switching up the maps being played